This is not a normal barn find episode of the Late Break Show, and the reason for that is because we weren't really expecting to find this car. We came and filmed with a chap called Neville, his car collection, his car cave, full of 80s and 90s Mercs, AMGs, Brabuses, etc. And then he kind of casually mentioned that he had one that had been sat a really long time, quite a special car. And then we thought, hang on a minute, this needs an episode on its own, which is why this episode is all about the car that you're about to see. If you haven't seen the episode of Neville's car collection, I'll put it above my head because it's wonderful. So I'm Jonny Smith, this is the Late Break Show, and you are about to see a lovely 80s wide-bodied barn find. So Neville, who's actually going to chat to me about the car off camera, can give me the full insight on this. So Nev, this car is a 1985?
1985.
Mercedes 500 SEC, so a C126 as they call it.
Correct.
Yeah. But what makes it so special?
So this car was taken from new to Stratton in Wilmslow, who converted the car into a Mercedes W126 or C126 wide body.
Right.
For a film producer called Chris Christophers.
Okay.
Who, if you Google, the name will come up with The Wild Geese. And those of a certain vintage will remember that film. Well, this was his car. CC77 was the number plate. And of course, that's in the old service book.
CC77.
CC77. She's not on that number now.
Yeah,
I presume he's still probably got that on a Lexus, whatever, but or a Rolls Royce Silver Shadow. But the bottom line is that car was completely and totally modified by Strattons, and I know all about the history of it because we've managed to get in touch with two gents that used to work at Strattons who confirmed the CC77. Oh, I remember that car, that's Chris Christophers, and away you go. Because there was not much of this stuff
I was going to say,
going on.
Let me get this right. Back then, you had to be an AMG concessionaire.
Correct.
And you basically got all the kit of parts.
So basically AMG were based in Germany. They had concessions around the world.
Yeah.
Two in this country at the start, Duncan Hamilton, who we've touched upon, maybe in a different series.
Yeah.
And Strattons of Wilmslow. They came a bit later. Duncan Hamilton was definitely doing it first here. And you would basically order a Mercedes through Strattons or take your own.
Yeah.
And they would do the conversion for you,
right, using
all their parts. The engines allegedly were not built built in the UK. They were shipped over, and from what I understand, there were 6.
Only 6?
6 in this particular car, which is a 5-litre.
I'm going to have a look.
Okay.
You can carry on talking to me. We've got to have a look at this. So the thing is, it's not buried in a load of rubble. It's not got overgrown hedges around it, but it is very dusty.
It's got a lot of spiders on it.
I've seen a picture of it, and from the picture, I can tell you the colour.
There was a lot of death when it was hoovered out, I can assure you.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, it was nasty in there. Not as bad as some of the stuff that comes from Japan, but
oh my word,
they're frightening. Yeah, so there you go. There's no reason why the number plate's off it. It's just missing. I don't know why that is.
Does this have electricity?
Yes, it does. Complete with a broken window for ventilation.
Oh, I was going to say, I've seen it through the bit of the window. Look at this.
Yeah, so basically, full body kit.
Wide body
wide
kit.
Wheels. I believe they're 9 on the front and 10 on the rear.
I think 9J on the front.
Yeah, 9 on the front. I'm pretty certain they're 9 on the front. This one is fiberglass wings, and at the rear, it's fiberglass as well, which denotes that it's an early car, because towards the latter of these runs, they were building the rear in metal, because the torque of the car used to cause cracking.
Oh.
So when I first, I used to think any SEC wide body with rear fiberglass wings was basically built at home, if you like.
Yeah.
Copy.
Yeah.
But of course, you find out actually, it was a day spent with Simon, another aficionado, and we tracked it back and did some investigations because he turned up here in a similar car, complete with KBA part numbers.
This is so nice, Neville.
So yeah, so this is so the body is essentially an AMG wide body, Gen 1, very early.
So in terms of rarity value, this is quite a rare thing to be, because we haven't quite touched on it yet. That it was ordered new with the body kit, with the wheels, with the interior bits, but it's the bit under here that's...
It's the bit under there, and of course I have the service book with this, with the first X number of miles, quite a few of them actually, with the Stratton service book.
Have you?
Which is quite nice.
I'll have a look at that in a bit. I haven't done one of these in ages. Oh, there we go. There we go.
I mean, I think the engine alone, I can't remember back in the day. I have a price list for this, funnily enough, from Stratton's, but I think I think it was about 13 grand. But you can see the size of it. And if you look at the rear, you sit and think, how do you get the spark plugs out of the rear? And those spark plug tunnels are 165 mil down.
Bloody hell.
So you can undo a spark plug and then you can't get it out without a magnet, which is quite fun.
So this is 5 litre V8.
It's called a DOHC, double overhead cam engine.
I can see the head. They do.
And they built them in 5 litre, 5.2, so they were bored. 5.4 were bored, 5.6 were bored, and then the ultimate was the 6 litre. And from what we work out, there were six of these engines delivered.
How did you find this car? And why has it been in here?
Actually, the chap who sold me the SEL and took the engine out and put it in his own car, rang me one day and said, "Oh, I know you want to put an original engine back into your SEL.
Yeah.
There's a car for sale. Go and have a look at it. It could be a good donor, would you believe?"
You bought this as a possible engine donor?
Possible engine donor.
And how long ago did you buy it?
2005, 6, I think.
Okay.
That sort of time.
Right.
And that was the original idea of it, was to swap the engine over back into VSK 213 and restore that back to its sort of pride and glory. Well, roll forward, I managed to find another 5 litre engine.
Which you've got in a shed over there, because he showed me.
Which I've got in a shed over there. That was a Fred Laufer. Came out of a touring car, allegedly. Thankfully, I never did that conversion.
Yeah, I was going to say, so this was when the values of these were pretty low.
Yeah.
The value was...
within reason low, but yeah, low.
Yeah, not what they are now.
Not what they are now.
No. And it's sat in here ever since?
Pretty much, yeah.
My gosh, so you bought it thinking...
Driven it twice. We took it out on a little spin once. Did about twice.
Gosh.
And that was it, really.
I mean, in here it's just wild. So I remember there's quite a thin steering wheel, but this lovely little stitched AMG centre boss.
Yeah, so that's an Ital Volante. Made those for AMG.
4 horn buttons.
4 horn buttons, yeah.
And the, like you say, the wood effect, Pioneer remote control.
I dread to think how much that head unit was.
I bet it was loads. Yeah, wood effect head unit. I've never seen one. Never seen one in my life.
You can see all the wood kit. That's all AMG.
Yeah, that's a chunk of wood.
Yep, 'tis.
That's a real chunk of wood.
People make those now, those kits, and they're a lot of money.
Oh, hang on, I think they are Nakamichi.
Yeah, it probably
I'll just bend down and have a look. Hang on, because I'm too
That's
curious.
who they seem to be. That was this speaker and...
Yeah, Nakamichi.
Speaker and amp of choice.
So this car's obviously not been used much. It's been sat a long time.
I've driven it twice.
Yeah, and it hasn't been started in what? 15, 17 years?
Probably 10 years.
Right, I bet that more than 10 years.
Maybe more than 10 years. I don't know.
So we're going to have a look at the engine. I might run some checks. We don't have a great deal of time today, but it's too much of a great opportunity to miss. It's such a statement car, this. Not a lot of cars say 80s more than this. This is great. I am not experienced in the world of AMG Hammer engines, but I've taken a bit of advice and I'm going to go as far as I feel comfortable doing so to see whether or not we can fire up this amazing 500 SEC today. First things first, I've checked the oil. The oil is really good. Apparently the oil was changed not long after it was parked up, and it shows. It looks like Manuka honey, so that is good. What I don't like, I can see gnaw marks from rodents on the HT leads and the vacuum pipes. I'll take the air cleaner off. I love these twin snorkel air cleaners. I'll take that out, then I've got access to the plugs. I'll try and take the plugs out to just lubricate the bores, check the condition of the plugs. Neville has bought a spare distributor cap, spare rotor arm, a couple of other ignition bits. And we'll see if we get a spark. We'll probably turn it over with the plugs out first. That's what we're going to do. Look at this thing. It's huge. So there's your blooming great plenum there. And there's your sort of octopus fuel distributor. It's a Bosch fuel distribution head, I think they call it. And all these hard lines are fuel lines which go off to the various injectors. But this is the thing, these heads are the special thing here. Look how deep they go down in there. You almost get an echo. Hello, hello, hello. I was going to ask you, Neville, what kind of power the Hammer engine was reputed to put out.
Well, I think it was reputed to put out 300-ish.
300?
Yeah, I think so. I'd have to check, but I think that's the sort of... I'll be honest with you, it didn't feel massively, manically different to my 300 horsepower 560 SEC.
Didn't it? All these cars, the SECs remind me of is that film Roadhouse, Swayze.
Yes.
There's a lot of dirt down there.
Is there?
I think rodents have been playing.
Seriously.
There's gnaw marks. There's gnaw marks on here and here, HT leads. It's not, I can't see loads of like rodent droppings. There looks like a bit of a nest where the air intake of that snorkel is.
Yes.
You might want to open it up. Oh shit. Do you think a mouse has been living in the air cleaner? Right, well these plugs are quite a fiddle, what with the depth that they're in the head. They're so deep in the head, like a Hemi, like Dodge Hemi style. So you don't want to watch me taking all these out, but I'm going to take them all out. So see you in a bit. Bye. We've got all the plugs out. That one that was wedged in there, look at all the detritus around it. We couldn't get purchase on the plug. That's the head of the plug, where it goes into the combustion chamber is good, but it's like gunged right up. So we're going to leave these all out. I'm going to spray a bit of oil down, and then we'll disconnect the fuel line, turn the engine over, hopefully it'll squirt some oil out. Then we'll hopefully know that it's free and not seized in any way. And then, if that's the case, stick the new plugs in quickety-quick. And then what we do is introduce fuel. And I will bypass the fuel tank because I don't want the hassle. Neville's kindly bought a mother battery for a Mercedes S-Class. It doesn't quite fit in the tray. Battery tray is rotten, but luckily it's a bolt-in item, and under the tray it's not rotten. You've got to take these out on the coupes. Screen wash reservoir, it's moulded around the battery. That's in, plugs are out. I've undone the fuel lines to the metering head or the distribution unit, whatever it's called. So now we're going to turn the ignition on and we're going to go for a turnover with the plugs out just to see if it moves and it's unseized. Neville, if you want to do the honours for that, I'll make sure the tools are all away. So it's obviously not going to fire. So I can hear heating on and stuff.
Got seatbelt presenters, but no fuel pump.
No fuel pump noise. Sure?
Pretty
Is
certain.
that an electric aerial? Lights are working at the back.
Ready?
No click or anything?
No click. Why? Ah, is there an alarm on it?
I just heard a bleep. Is it one of these
Bloody
bastards?
flashing now.
The key fob's probably got a flat battery in it, hasn't it?
Oh,
Oh
sugar.
no.
Please tell me we
I
haven't
forgot
got
about 80s car alarms and
Oh,
immobilisers.
sugar.
This is a complicated engine at the best of times for a DIY mechanic like me. Howdy. Yes, it's dark. We're still working on it. The problem we've encountered, which never forgotten about, and I didn't know about, was it has an aftermarket alarm immobiliser thing. And the battery's dead in the fob, which means I don't think it's deactivating the immobiliser, which means it's never going to activate the ignition or the fuel system. Nev's gone in the house to try and find a battery. It's too late to go and find one. If we don't have a battery...
I've only got 3 brand new Duracell.
Get lost. Have you?
Get in.
This is not internet fakery. Neville is an equipped man. He just happens to have at least 2 Duracell 2032s, which is the battery we need to put in to this immobiliser key fob. I have never dicked around with one of these before. I'm a little bit scared because of the circuitry's delicate. I feel like we've been scuppered by this little key fob.
Bastard.
The electric aerial's trying to work.
I know, it seems to want to work, doesn't it?
And
but she does not want to work.
if you're watching this and you're just going, oh, it should be really easy, you should have prepared, Johnny. I don't prepare. I make a point of not seeing the barn find cars really before I film them, but I didn't even know that this car was a part of it because I wasn't coming here to film this. I mean, I had the fleece on me because I filmed yesterday another barn find on another shoot. Yeah? Do you follow? Oh, and I'm hungry, so can you send me something? I'd like a really thin, I'd like quite a thin, crispy pizza, or actually a vegetarian lasagna would be freaking wonderful right now. If you could do that for me. Maybe a cold, I'm going to say a smoothie, but then I'll have a lager chaser. Yeah.
Right, ready?
Yeah.
Woohoo!
Okay.
Right, hang on.
So what did you do differently?
Don't worry about it.
Okay, I'm going to look for fuel spewing everywhere.
Right,
but at
you
the
ready?
moment, nothing. Wow, okay, well, no fuel's coming through.
That's because the fuel pump is not...
Fuel pump's not
You
activated.
can just hear it's not coming on.
No.
You can always tell a 126.
Yeah. All right, well.
So that's good news.
Okay, that's good news. That means it's not seized, it's turning freely. I'll put the plugs in while you're fathoming life with an immobiliser. Well, I'll tell you what we can do. All bar one plug, I'll leave one plug out and we can rest it on the side and we can see if we get a spark.
Okay.
And if we get a spark, then we know if I introduce my own artificial fuel tank, it will still allow it to fire.
Sure.
3, 2, 1. So, we overcame the problem with the immobiliser fob. So the car's talking, the immobiliser's talking to the car. The problem we have now is, even after changing the relay for the fuel pump is clearly not working. It's knackered. And that's understandable because when it sits in for 15 years, 18 years, whatever, in fuel, it fails to function. So we've gone as far as we can go with the resources we've got. The engine's definitely free and we have spark. We just can't get the fuel to it. So, I just don't know whether or not I can just bypass it and introduce fuel, I don't know. Or I don't know whether or not, we can try it. I don't know.
Oh!
Shitting hell.
She lives, mate.
Right, so, shall I?
So it's sparking fine.
It is sparking.
It's turning over. It's
So-
just a fuel pump problem.
Right, God, that stinks. So what I'll do is I will, we were just about to give up. Right, I'm going to take off those unions again and I'm going to attach the Can of Hope. My Can of Hope has a good track record. For viewers that aren't familiar with the Can of Hope, this is the Can of Hope. A gallon of fuel with an electric fuel pump on the back. So we basically bypass all of the original fuel system because it's troublesome and it's old and it's tired. So I'm now going to, bloody hell, I can't believe it tried to fire then.
Yeah, she will. You could just get it, you got a feeling. She's spinning over beautifully.
So
we know it's not the fuel pump relay because that's a brand new one off the SEL.
Yeah, luckily Neville has a number of other Mercedes of the same vintage that he can rob parts off, but the problem is we haven't got all night. Okay, so we've rigged up the Can of Hope to the in and outlet of the Bosch fuel distribution head or whatever it is. We have a new problem in that although the fuel system is ready to rig and so ready to go, the stupid Immobiliser is refusing to deactivate. It's just having a hiccup. So Neville is cursing and trying to clean the contact points for the little thing in the centre console. So I don't know whether we can get it to fire again. We got it to fire for a second, didn't we, to prove that there's spark, there's hope. It'd be nice to run it for more than 5 seconds, 10 seconds for you, the viewers. We'll see. Okay, so we've got the key fob to work again. The alarm just went off and deafened me, so I can't hear in my right ear. But we're going to try and see if we can get it to fire. Okay, try it, Nev. Whoa, you dirty swine. That's trying really hard. Was that? I'll take that as a win if we get.
I think that's as close as a win we're going to get. Basically, it needs new fuel pumps and we're away.
It does, but I'm running. You know, I've got the can here primed up.
Okay, let's have another try.
Man, it's trying.
Really is trying hard. So let me have another try.
That's impressive.
So I doubt it's getting enough pressure by the sounds of it.
Getting, at the moment, I've got 2 bar.
Okay, ready?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think it's gas,
I
really.
tell you what, I've got an idea. I'm just going to put a capful down its throat of fresh.
I think she'll like that. When you're ready.
Yeah.
Come on. Ooh,
That's worse.
She didn't like that.
No. Well, that's 5 seconds of AMG power.
So that's it going. That's the gas going down.
Yeah.
So it is petrol starvation.
It is. Well, we've hashed together the fuel system.
Oh, I see.
Yes! Yes! Oh man, we've done it.
I think that's as good as a.
Well, listen, that was what? That's 15 seconds of AMG power.
That's as good as it's going to get.
Oh my word, and I stink of fuel.
Oh God, so do I.
The fleece is on.
Oh.
The fleece is on.
She's off and running now.
Yeah, I was going to say. Running. Listen to that. Gotta hope. Yeah. Woo.
sounds nice.
Yeah.
And it's smooth.
Oh my gosh, there's so much smoke in here, look.
Oh no, bad enough in here.
Woo! Yeah. Listen to that. Smooth idle.
Jesus. Whew.
Yeah.
She is alive.
Still running on the.
Well, she's warmed up now, so she's getting a little bit of.
My eyes are hurting. I can't stop this. I can't. Do you want to kill it?
Yeah.
Woo! Oh my gosh. Round of applause for the Hammer.
There we go. There we
I hate giving up. I stink. I need a wee. I've not drunk much. I've not eaten any dinner, but I call that
a win. Jeez.
I call that a win. I really hope you've enjoyed this late break show barn find episode. We've put everything, Nev's put everything into trying to get this running, and it is late, it's cold, we're tired. It's alive. Ow, I've just banged my head, and I can now go home knowing that the 500 SEC AMG is alive. Just needs a new fuel pump, basically. I stink. I really stink. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, or I'll come round your house and I'll fire up an AMG with a broken exhaust. I've got to get out of here. It's toxic. It does reek in there.
Cool.
We did it.